The first time they noticed her, no one said anything. It was just a blurry face at the edge of a photo taken at a birthday party. The group of friends had all gathered in a rented cabin deep in the woods, laughing, drinking, and posing in front of a fireplace with fake bear heads mounted above them. Olivia had taken the shot, holding her phone high to get everyone in the frame. The next morning, when they scrolled through the pictures, Olivia paused. At the very edge of the frame, behind Tyler and Mia, there was a pale girl with long black hair wearing an old-fashioned white dress. Her eyes were hollow, sunken. Nobody remembered seeing her there that night. But it was easy to brush off. A party crasher maybe. Someone's friend of a friend. They laughed it off, cropped the photo, and moved on, but that was just the beginning. Back in the city, weeks passed. Olivia, Mia, Tyler, Jared, and Cassie kept in touch as they always had. They were a tight group, together since college. Late-night dinners, movie marathons, hiking trips. And always photos. Olivia loved to document everything. She had thousands saved on her phone, categorized in albums, road trips, birthdays, weddings, even a weird folder called Mistakes, full of photobombers and accidental shots. She was organizing those when she saw her again. The same girl. In the background of a group photo from Jared's engagement party. This time she was closer, standing right behind Cassie, her hand inches from her shoulder. Olivia zoomed in. Her face hadn't changed, pale, tired eyes, lips slightly parted like she was mid-whisper. The oddest part? No one had seen her that night either. Olivia didn't say anything. Not at first. It felt crazy. Instead, she quietly went through every group photo she had taken in the last year. The girl was in almost all of them, always in the background. Always near someone. In some photos, her eyes were closed. In others, she looked directly into the camera. Olivia felt a coldness crawl down her spine as she stared at her screen. She wasn't real. She couldn't be. And yet, there she was again and again. She finally told Tyler. He didn't believe her. He thought she was joking or editing the photos. But when Olivia showed him the original files, untouched, raw, still stored on her cloud from the moment they were taken, his face went pale. He even checked the metadata. The girl had been there all along. They showed Jared next. Then Cassie. Then Mia.no1 had an explanation. Tyler became obsessed. He printed the photos, pinned them to his bedroom wall, circled the girl in red marker like a detective tracking a serial killer. He tried facial recognition tools. Nothing came up. No matches. No names. He even posted a few photos online anonymously, asking if anyone recognized her. No replies. Just a message in his inbox. She likes you now. Tyler showed it to Olivia. There was no username, no profile picture, nothing traceable. Just that message. A week later, Tyler disappeared. He didn't show up for work. Didn't respond to texts. His phone went straight to voicemail. His apartment was locked from the inside. The police found his bedroom covered in photos of the girl. Every one of them circled. Red string connected them, lines drawn in what looked like blood. And in the center of the wall, one massive photo, printed in black and white, showing the entire friend group at the cabin. Tyler's body was in the photo. He was on the couch, pale, motionless, staring ahead. The girl stood right behind him, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. They ruled it suicide. Said he was mentally unstable. No foul play. No signs of anyone else entering the apartment. But Olivia knew better. She couldn't sleep for days. She deleted all her photos. Wiped her cloud. Erased her backups. It didn't help. One night, while she lay in bed, her phone vibrated. A new photo had appeared in her gallery. One she hadn't taken. It was of her sleeping. Taken from the foot of the bed, and in the corner, that same girl, crouched beside her, watching. She screamed. Threw her phone across the room. Called Mia in a panic. Told her everything. Mia came over, tried to calm her down. They sat in Olivia's living room until sunrise, drinking tea, talking about moving away. Starting fresh. Maybe see a psychic. Or a priest. They never got the chance. Mia was next. She was found in her car, parked under an overpass. No signs of struggle. The engine was still running. In the passenger seat was a Polaroid, a group photo from years ago, back when they'd all gone to the coast. In the photo, Mia stood smiling, arms around Jared and Cassie, and the girl, the ghost, was reflected in the car window, face pressed against the glass from the outside. Olivia didn't attend the funeral. She couldn't. She knew what would happen. Group photos. Cameras everywhere. What if she showed up again? Cassie begged her to come. Said they all needed each other now more than ever. That they had to fight this together. Olivia hesitated, then agreed, but only if no one took pictures. Everyone had to swear. No selfies. No phone cameras. Nothing. They did their best. But at the reception, someone snapped a group shot. Jared, Cassie, Olivia, arm in arm, smiling for the sake of appearances. 2 days later, Jared was found in his bathtub. Drowned. No signs of a break-in. The camera that had taken the photo? Broken in half on the floor. The SD card melted. But the photo had already been uploaded to Olivia's drive by the person who took it, a family friend. She opened it, heart pounding. The girl was in it again. Closer than ever. This time, her hand was around Jared's throat. Cassie went insane. She started seeing the girl even without photos. In mirrors. In windows. In shadows at the end of the hall. She called Olivia every night, sobbing, asking what they had done to deserve this. I saw her in my dream, she whispered once. She said there's only one left to go. Then it's done. One left. You. Olivia moved out of her flat. Went to stay with her aunt in the countryside. No Wi-Fi. No cameras. No photos. Just old books and candles and silence. She burned every photo she ever took. Smashed her phone. Disconnected completely. For a while it worked. Then she got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just an envelope, inside of which was a printed photo. A recent one. Her and her aunt in the kitchen cooking dinner. Taken from outside the window. The girl was in the photo again. Standing behind Olivia staring. Her aunt died that night. A heart attack, they said. But Olivia saw the bruises on her neck. The same pattern the ghost had left in every photo. She ran. Hid in a remote village in Iceland. No phones. No one who knew her name, until one morning she walked into the local shop and saw a poster for a community event. A festival. And on the poster, a group photo of the last year's attendees. There she was again. The ghost. In the middle of a crowd of strangers. But this time, Olivia wasn't in the photo. The realization hit like a thunderclap. It wasn't about her. It never was. The ghost wasn't following Olivia. She was spreading through the photos, through the people who saw her. She was a curse. A virus. Infecting every group photo she appeared in. Olivia had been patient 0.by sharing the photos. She had unknowingly passed it on. She tried to warn people. Traveled to cities. Left anonymous letters. Burned cameras. Tried to destroy every image. But it was too late. The girl was everywhere. In graduation photos. Wedding albums. Tour group selfies. Yearbooks. No one knew who she was. But soon they started to notice her. A pale face in the background. A silent observer in group memories. And then, people started dying. One by one. Always the same pattern, until now when you're watching this. Listening? Remembering your own group photos. Your friend's wedding. Your college trip. That one party photo you barely looked at. Go back. Look again. Zoom in. Check the corners. The reflections. If she's there, it's already too late. Months passed. Olivia no longer kept track of time. She was a ghost herself now, wandering from place to place, changing her name, avoiding people, avoiding cameras. She stayed in motels that took cash, sleeping in rooms with the curtains closed and mirrors covered. No selfies. No strangers. No conversations longer than a few words. She knew that if she formed a bond with anyone, if they took a photo together, she might kill them without meaning to. But the curse didn't need her anymore. It had outgrown her. It had entered the internet. She started seeing her on Instagram. Blurred in the backgrounds of nightclubs, birthday parties, school assemblies. She watched reaction videos online where people zoomed in and laughed at the creepy girl in the back, treating it like a prank, a Photoshop trick. They didn't realize. They didn't understand, but they would. The news didn't say anything, of course. Deaths were written off as suicides, accidents, tragedies. But Olivia tracked them. Built a notebook by hand, no electronics, of names, cities, and photo captions. Everyone who posted a group photo with her in it? Dead within days. Some died peacefully. Most didn't. She tried to go to the authorities once. Sat across from a detective in a cold, gray police station and told him everything. He listened without interrupting, expression unreadable. Then he pulled up a photo from his daughter's graduation party. Is this who you're talking about? He asked. Olivia leaned forward. There she was. Standing on stage behind the graduates. A diploma in her hand. Olivia backed away in horror. Burn it, she said. Burn it now. The detective chuckled. You think this is some kind of joke? 2 days later, he was dead. Art failure in his car. A camera roll full of police banquet photos. The girl was there, sitting at the head of the table. She wasn't just in the background anymore. She was becoming the center. Olivia began having dreams. Not her own, other people's. She saw through their eyes. She was inside hospitals, schools, offices. In each dream, the girl stood in front of a group of people, her mouth moving silently, her hands folding and unfolding like broken marionette strings. She was speaking, but no one could hear, until one night, Olivia did. The girl spoke to her. You made me real, she whispered, and Olivia remembered. There had been a sixth friend at the cabin. Her name was Eleanor. Quiet, bookish, strange. Not quite part of the group, but Jared's cousin. She had come along at the last minute, said she wanted to get away from home. She barely spoke all weekend. Sat by the fire, taking pictures with an old Polaroid dot on the last night the group had taken that big photo. Olivia remembered lining everyone up, telling them to smile, but Eleanor wasn't in it. She had gone for a walk alone in the woods. And she never came back. The group had called her, shouted for her, looked for hours. When they found her cold, still, eyes open under a tree, they panicked. Jared didn't want to tell anyone. He was applying for a government job. Cassie was drunk and crying. Tyler suggested they make it look like she got lost on her own. They called the police in the morning. Said she'd gone hiking and slipped. They never admitted she was with them that night. They lied. Olivia had lied, and that was the real beginning. Eleanor had loved photography. She had always been behind the camera. She used to say people never truly saw her. That photos were the only way she existed. When she died, something had followed her back, not her soul, not her spirit, something older, something hungry. It had clung to her absence, her need to be seen. And it grew inside every image, feeding on attention, on connection. The more people looked at it, the stronger it became, and Olivia had unknowingly spread it. Now the ghost, Eleanor or whatever wore her face, was everywhere, and Olivia had no way to stop it, until she remembered the Polaroid, the one Eleanor used. Maybe, Olivia thought, if I could find it, maybe it still held her essence. Maybe that camera, that final roll of film, held the key. She returned to the cabin. It was abandoned, decaying, swallowed by vines and time. The fireplace was crumbling. The windows broken. But the air was heavy with something cold. Familiar. She searched through the basement first. Then the attic. Found a trunk full of junk. And there, wrapped in a torn scarf, was the Polaroid, still intact. Still loaded with one photo left. She stared at it for hours. Then she took it. A selfie. Just her, alone in the ruin of the place where it all began. She let the photo print. Slow and silent, humming as it ejected. She didn't look right away. She waited. Then flipped it over. No ghost. No one in the background. Just her. She began to cry. Relief. Release. Something had changed. The Polaroid was different. It didn't feed the ghost. It sealed her. She took one more photo of the cabin door. Still nothing. Hope bloomed in her chest for the first time in years. But then, behind her, she heard a faint, unmistakable click. A digital shutter. Her blood ran cold. She turned. A teenage boy stood in the trees, holding his phone up, smiling nervously. Sorry, I thought the place looked cool. You okay, miss? He snapped another photo. She ran toward him, shouting. Delete it. Now. But it was too late. He frowned. What's your problem? Then he looked at the photo and stopped breathing. Olivia grabbed the phone from his hands. The girl was in the photo again. Only this time, she wasn't behind Olivia. She was behind him. Olivia stared into the phone as the ghost raised her hand and pressed it to the boy's back in the image. And then in real life, he collapsed. Heart stopped. Dead before he hit the ground. The phone slipped from Olivia's hands. And the screen glowed one last time. A new image. Of Olivia, and the ghost standing beside her. Smiling, Olivia stood over the boy's body, frozen. The only sound was the wind rustling through the trees, and the distant echo of birds scattering. As if even they knew something evil had happened. She didn't cry. She couldn't. She just picked up the phone, hands trembling. The screen had gone black. When she pressed the power button, nothing happened. Dead. Not just the boy, the device. It had been drained like every digital thing touched by her curse. She left it beside him and walked into the woods, deeper than before. Something inside her had broken. Or maybe, Something had awakened. She realized now she wasn't just cursed. She was the conduit. She was the mirror the ghost had chosen to reflect through. But the Polaroid had shown her a glimpse of resistance. It didn't feed the ghost. It captured her, froze her. And now Olivia had an idea, a terrifying, desperate idea. She would return to every place the ghost had appeared. Every photo, every location. She would recreate those scenes using the Polaroid, one by one, and capture whatever fragment of the ghost lingered there. It would be like reversing the curse, pulling her backward through her trail of appearances. But there was one problem: she only had 12 shots left, and the ghost had been in dozens of places. She started with the easiest, Tyler's apartment. It had been closed and left untouched since his death. She snuck in through the back window, moving through dust and silence like a shadow. The wall of photos was still there. But now they were all blank. Paper white. As if someone had scraped off the images, except one. The giant center photo. The group at the cabin. The ghost was missing from it now, just Tyler smiling. Alive. Olivia raised the Polaroid. Took the photo. As it developed, her hand shook. The image was sharp. Empty. No ghost. Just a room with a wall of white papers. She smiled for the first time in weeks. Maybe her theory was right. She traveled next to the funeral home where Mia had been mourned. Snuck inside at night. Lit candles to recreate the room exactly as it had been. Placed a photo of the group on the podium, and took another shot with the Polaroid. This one was darker. The photo came out distorted, warped at the edges. But the ghost wasn't in it. Each time she used the Polaroid, she felt something leave her body, like tiny threads being pulled from her chest. A piece of her soul being used as film. She didn't care. She continued. Point one location after another. Jared's rooftop. Cassie's college dorm. The church where the detective's daughter graduated. One by one, she took photos, and each time the air felt lighter, the nightmares less vivid. She had 3 shots left. Only 3. In 2 places that truly mattered. The woods where Eleanor had died, and the last place anyone had seen her. The cabin. She hiked to the spot where Eleanor's body had been found. The tree was still there. Gnarled, bent low, the roots twisted like fingers trying to claw out of the earth. Olivia placed an old photo of Eleanor at the base. A copy she'd found in her notebook. Then she took a picture with the Polaroid. When the photo came out, it screamed. Not Olivia. Not the wind. The photo itself. A thin, high-pitched wail as it developed, the image slowly revealing the tree, and Eleanor, kneeling in front of it, her hands on her face, sobbing. The ghost wasn't standing, she was begging. Olivia collapsed, clutching her head. For the first time she felt what the ghost felt: the betrayal, the cold, the loneliness. The last thoughts Eleanor had before death. They left me. They forgot me. I just wanted to be seen. That's why she haunted group photos. Because in real life she never belonged. She was the shadow, the outcast, the girl behind the camera. And in death, she became the photo itself. A mirror of sorrow. Olivia had 1 photo left. She walked to the cabin. It was midnight now. The wind screamed through the empty window frames. She sat in the same spot they all had years ago. Pulled out a mirror and placed it on the couch. It reflected her, and nothing else. She raised the Polaroid. One final click. The flash echoed through the night. And then silence. She waited for the photo to develop, holding her breath. When it finished, she stared. It was a group photo. Of her, and her friends. All of them. Alive, smiling. And Eleanor in the center. But she wasn't the ghost. She was real. Solid. Happy. That moment, that exact picture, had never happened in real life. Olivia sobbed, realizing the truth. This was the photo the ghost always wanted. The version of her life that never came true. A world where she was accepted. Loved. And now maybe she could rest. Olivia walked outside and buried the final photo beneath the tree. No words. No prayers. Just dirt and wind and peace. She walked away. Left the Polaroid behind. She never took another photo again. But the story didn't end there. 6 months later, a young couple found the abandoned camera near the old tree. It still had film inside, or so they thought. They took a selfie. Smiled. And in the image that developed, they were both gone. Only the cabin remained. And in the window, the ghost smiled once more.